and I'm going to say this as politely and as well as I can say it. I hate what's happened to Jonathan Smith. I hate what's happened because things did not go as well as I would like them, but more importantly, things did not go as well as he would like it. I did talk to him every week, talked to him before every game. There are a lot of things that were issues, but a lot of things that were beyond his control. Got the job. It was a tough job. But as head coaches, we understand our responsibility. We understand that everything is not rosy, and we understand because of this demented way we're doing things now, people have always been hired to be fired in these jobs. George Perlis told me that I definitely will be fired when I got the job, and still could happen. But I look at Jonathan and I said, man, I went to his practices. He is a good football mind, and I don't think anybody ever questioned his character, his integrity. He always represented us with class. And I think what saddens me the most is these last 2-3 weeks. I mean, everybody knows the UCLA game here was a tough game. We didn't look good. It wasn't a good look in general. But if you don't think Tom Izzo's had a few of those games, I mean, I was down 30 to Memphis at halftime. I mean, we've all gone through it. But what really impressed me is to get yourself off the ground and continue is what we're paid for. But to get your players off the ground to continue, and I did think they competed, whether it be at Indiana, Nebraska. I can think of games, USC, that I think we could have, should have won, and weren't quite as talented, but we could have, should have won. And when you lose a couple of them, as we always say, then you become worse than you are. Sometimes when you win some, you become better than you actually are. And that was what was most impressive. The on-field results weren't what we all hoped and wanted, but speak highly for everyone in that program because, as I said, I went to practices. I went to every game I could be at. So I don't like the way it's going as far as when you look around the country. It used to be you had 4 or 5 years to turn a program around. It feels like sometimes you have 4 or 5 weeks. And that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's tough now. And some of it is because of the portal. Some of it's because of the NIL. Some of it's because of impatience in general. And but I am saddened by what happened. I understood it. He understood it. I talked to him today. He understood it, which is really important, but doesn't mean we have to like it.
I don't know if you want to go here. Would you support a Pat Fitzgerald hire? Or can't you say that?
Oh, I can say anything I want to say, I guess. I'm not sure it matters, but I could support whoever they put in front of me. I really mean that because I think they'll do their due diligence and try to come up with the best fit for our program. And so, I do know Pat a little bit. I know what he's done there. There's so many rumors that come out of these things right off the bat, and I will say this, that I think a lot of things happened quicker than, that's another problem. I was talking to a coach, a great football retired coach today, and he talked about an antiquated calendar. The calendar creates problems for us, what we've got to do and what sequence of events you do them in. And was this a surprise? I think sort of. Was it a total surprise? I don't think it was. Who they hire, I mean, it's a crazy world out there right now. If you look at, I just saw where another, Kentucky, did they fire a guy this morning? So I mean, this stuff is happening at a incredible rate. And one thing I am is I'm a team guy. I mean, I don't care who they get and who they hire. I'm going to be supportive of that person. I'm hoping that we get somebody that fits us and fits our program, because the players that are here deserve that. The fans that are here deserve that. The people in the athletic department deserve it, because I'll say this till the day I leave this place. I can do a lot of things here. Stacy Slobotnik, talked to her this morning. She's done more than I have if you really look at what she's accomplished. Adam is doing incredible things. Our volleyball has been incredible. Our soccer has been incredible. It just doesn't match up to football. We put them all together, and we probably are as important as half of a football program. And that's not insulting. That's not demeaning to the rest of us. That's, as my son would say, those are facts. And so I think it is very important that we get somebody that we think can take this program to where it's been before, and can we get it back there on a consistent basis. But you can't blame Jonathan for all that, because he got the job. It was some tough situations that we were going through.
Tom, I find it interesting. You said you spoke with him today, so these things aren't transactional. And then when you talk about the way things are in this new era, what advice can you give to a fan base that's transitioning?
You know, what I don't like about you is you always ask deep, because of your profession, deep, sophisticated questions that are hard to answer in one word. But I will say this: I hope our fan base acts like I'd like us to be, and that's supportive of our school, of our teams. I get the whole deal. I understand the whole deal. I know what winning's all about. I like following a winning program myself, But I just want you to know, I went to hockey games when we weren't as good. I've gone to volleyball games when we weren't as good. I've gone to football games when we weren't as good. And I have to go to basketball games when we're not as good sometimes. So I've been there and done that. And I would tell the fans that, we went through a tough few years, not just in football and everything. And the old adage, my father used to use it, but many people use it, what doesn't kill you is going to make you stronger. And if we can rally together, there's one thing that I've learned, and what I love about this place is, together we stand, divided we fall, and we need everybody to support that, because if football's better, we're all better. And I think that's what I'd ask our fan base. Have some faith. I know it's been a little rocky, but have some faith. And it's important to me, and if they care about me, if they care about Stacy Slobotnik, people that have been here 25, 30 years or more, we're going to be supportive, so I'd hope they would be.
Tom, I know you're real busy with the game on Tuesday, your day job as basketball coach, you got your hands full with that one. But you've also taken time in the past to mentor football players here and there and talk to them and when they've had decisions and so forth. I know you're busy this week, but in this time of transition, by any chance, would you reach out to football players or have a statement to them or about sticking with it, because they're going to be leaving here Friday or so to go home and so forth for winter break, in terms of sticking with the program, or just any message to them at all? Either broad-based or to individuals and so forth. Do you have time for that?
Well, mine would be broad-based right now. As you have said, I have had players in my office, because I believe in the place, and I believe what sticking with something can do for you. I do understand the problems too. And I would just say this, that if you came here for the right reasons, there's a reason I haven't left, because I'm here for the right reasons. It wasn't the money. It wasn't that the program was maybe so successful. It was to try to build something with a group of people in an environment that I think is blue collar and about what's right in the world. And the grass is not always greener, you know, and I look at what's happened down at LSU and Ole Miss, and it was all over the TV today, so I had no choice but to watch it. And when I looked at it, I don't hold nothing against Lane Kiffin for leaving. I don't hold anything, but I think we always talk about giving the kids an advantage, and this is good for you since you're in this mold. So what happens to the kids at Ole Miss? Chance to play for a national championship. What happens to the kids at LSU? I'll never forget when Nick Saban first got down there, he said, I don't even leave the state. There's so many players in the state that are dying to come to LSU. Well, maybe there's a bunch there that are dying to come to LSU, and he takes a bunch of players from Ole Miss, and now those guys are out. So maybe at one minute they didn't get a chance to win a national championship. That may never come again. The second minute, maybe they're replacing guys that died to be Tigers, and those kids' dreams are broken. And then the final one is maybe they won't win one there. So I just think everybody looks at this so differently than I do. And maybe I'm the one screwed up. But I know there's a couple guys that, you know, I watched Hall play the other day. And I said to myself, you know, I was at one of Jonathan's radio shows, and he was a guest. And I left there and I said, God, I'd like to coach that guy. He impressed the hell out of me. And he might get a call, whether we play Duke, whether we play whoever. Just to say, I know what you're going through, but you've been here for the right reasons. Maybe you can be here another year and lead a new group of people, you know, because that's needed. I learned it's needed. Cooper and Kohler have done an unbelievable job, okay? They went through some tough times early in their career. You know, they were a hair away from going to a Final Four, and who knows what this year will bring. But that's what I would tell those guys, and I would tell our fan base to support those guys. And, you know, I don't wish what's happened to our coaches on anybody. I don't wish what's happened to these players on anybody. But I also, because of experience, know the grass isn't always greener. And it might be greener for that moment, but it doesn't mean it's going to be greener for the big picture. That's it.